Hey guys, it's Teddy. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I am stuffed, so not doing too much today other than hanging out, trying to get a gameplay commentary out for you guys and hopefully set up some uploads for the weekend. Going second versus Zoro here, I'm thinking, since I'll be pitching most of my characters on the board, I was maybe thinking of starting off with that hand pitching the one cost stage because there's an obvious target there, searching if I get one, and then next turn playing the Saturn and using my leader ability on it. But I just decided I can do better, especially since I won the die roll. I feel pretty comfortable. I know Zoro's going to be pretty aggressive, but I think I need to get more games of Zoro on this channel so we understand what we need to do. So opening again with the one cost stage, not getting a searcher on the Zoro side. I'm just going to use the Charlia here. Pick up probably the Mars or maybe the search event, and then definitely just pitch the stage. The reason why I might take the search event is because I don't have another searcher. So I want to make sure that I can build up cards over time, but we do bink the other search event, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Search the top three. I already have an Elders in hand, so I can afford to let one go to trash. I'd rather have counter up instead, so I'm going to grab the 2K. And it will be nice later on if I can drop the Jupiter. I think in this matchup, it's mostly used as a 2K. Like, I don't really think I have an opportunity to drop that at all. Going into this turn, 3 Dawn getting tapped. What's coming out? Am I getting high rolled right now? I'm getting high rolled. Okay, Mihawk comes down. Mihawk on play is going to let it play the Zoro. Zoro on play is going to restand 2 Dawn. Do we see the Koshiro? Or are we going to see 7K lead?
Swing for 7.
7 lead. I have a counter event, but it's going to cost me 2 cards, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it, and then that Zoro is going to restand itself. So I don't have a Koshiro or a Tashigi on the board that I need to worry about, but it's still not a great start for me.
1, 2, 3. Grab the searcher.
Grab a search event. The workers are going to trash. I know I could save the workers for a little later, so even if the Zoro uses leader ability to rest my Workery, I can still draw a card. But I just pitched 3 Workeries instead. I have more searches coming out. Between Mars and 5 Elders, I probably want a 5 Elders because I already have 2 Mars in hand, so that'll set my trash up nicely for any Nistero plays or anything else here. Am I pass? Yeah, okay, we're starving. I'm trying to look if there's anything we can get rid of, but on 4 Dawn, there isn't much to do.
Should have like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Is that like 11 or 12 in trash there? Not sure.
It's only 6 during my turn because of the stage.
I think my opponent's just asking about the 6K being on their turn, but it's just during my turn. Pretty healthy hand size here, 2 Dawn up, so I definitely have a Rad Beam and probably a 2K to give away. Depending on what comes down here. Worst case scenario, a Cavendish comes down. Cavendish Koshiro would be pretty bad here.
I have 2 Dawn open, and I'll go to
On 5/5, I just defend with my hand, probably a Nistro and then 1 Mars.
I'm scared, man. You dropped the Mihawk on me.
And my opponent's doing some thinking here, and I'm sitting there like, well, you already saw the Mihawk open on 3, so this can't be too bad for you. But the amount of time that my opponent's taking makes me think that that's a different story.
5 to lead.
5 lead coming out. I'm just going to give away probably the Nistro first. I want to be Marsing a bunch. Okay, so we're going to over counter in the case that the Cavendish comes down because we probably needed to chase in a Cavendish Koshiro situation. But it looks like that's not the case here. So I can probably give the Nistro away. Also, the Mars going -4 in hand doesn't feel great if you have to play Mars back to back. I will be able to swing over the Mihawk either way.
6 in hand.
And then if a 9 lead comes in, I can probably just counter and give a 1k.
He's gonna swing 7.
Swing 7.
But 7 is coming out. I will probably just rad beam that while I
Tap
can. I know it's not super efficient in terms of counter.
And then he's half blood.
Okay.
And I'm gonna play her.
Okay.
And tap another one to search.
But it looks like my opponent just uses a Hiyori search instead. So now I'm kind of tasked with trying to figure out if I want that Hiyori to keep searching or just killing the Mihawk here. Hiyori is probably more value because they'll be able to keep refilling their hand. They already went -2 from the Mihawk. Hiyori will help them get
Grab the restand event. Okay.
card neutral, at least. It replaces itself. And if I let it go any further, it'll just get more value. Restand event comes down, so I need to be mindful of multiple swings coming in. So I should have maybe held on to a rad beam because I have a 2k, 1k in hand. But I will be able to pop the Zoro this turn. There is no Cavendish, so
Mihawk.
Okay.
it's possible that I don't know here. Trying to think of what I can
Tap, stay, Zoro's
use.
standing, by the way.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
But not for long, because I'm going to play Marcus Mars. Effect on
And then
play,
go ahead and pitch the
cards,
2k.
Original cost of 5.
Wow, okay. Getting a little aggressive here because I'm not seeing a
And I
wide
will leader
board.
ability.
And then I leader ability away just to draw the card. I get another counter event, which is super nice.
Okay.
Looks like I'm going to prioritize getting a swing off of the board.
Udon active again.
I'm at 7.
Yes, sir.
Draw.
And if you've watched my other Zoro games on this channel, I think I either have one or two. I know the Strongest Wizard has one of me just getting absolutely rolled by Baller on a huge high roll.
Cards in hand.
5.
But I tend to go into my Tendon turn with 0 life left.
Awesome.
So in my mind, I'm just trying to stay at 1 life and counter the smaller swings where I can. I know I used my mulligan to put away a Garp event, which would be really nice in this particular playstyle, but I just don't think it's as valuable as getting all the searchers that I did. And what, that was like 4 searches so far? And I think I see all the pieces that I need. I'm just actually missing the Saturn. I don't think that went to trash. But I do have 2 more turns to survive. Koshiro finally comes down, so that is going to be a threat for the next Mars. And I can't do any shenanigans on 9 where I tap, I don't know. I could tap 3 Dawn for a Mars, pop something, and then tap another 6 for the Equilibrium if I was going first. But that is just not a valid play here. 6 coming down for the Law. Kind of hate to see it. At least they only grab back the 1k. But I think letting them get the Koshiro is probably a misplay. If they're going to attach 1 Dawn to the Mihawk, I shouldn't really be caring. So maybe just swing the Searcher next time, save an extra Dawn as well.
Okay.
Queena comes down just to get some value out, which I think is correct.
I will be.
The whole reason why I'm using my leader skill on my characters is that I don't want my opponent to feel like they're getting a lot of value out
Only
of
during my turn.
playing out the Queena or the Tashigi.
5 to 5. I'll take it. No trigger.
But I'm just going to be able to swing over it, actually. I don't think my opponent quite recognizes that I'm starving.
I'll go ahead and drop a turn here.
Pulling another Charlia. I'm looking to grab my Saturn here, but another Rad Beam will do.
I will take the Rad Beam.
And I'm just stacking counter events for the inevitable. I'm not going to use the Charlos blocker here because it's just going to get rested.
No. Sorry. I'm trashing off of the. It's search 3, and then I grab a card, and then trash a card from my hand.
And my opponent's just making sure that I'm trashing for not leader ability. Draw another Mars here. But we're just going to go into the Queena here.
I'm just going to go 6 at the Queen.
And since I picked up another Rad Beam, I actually feel pretty comfortable using the Equilibrium on the Law and just keeping that board empty. Going into their 9 Dawn turn, they do have the Koshiro, so they can pop off a bit here.
6 Dawn will be 1 + 5 to play Equilibrium.
And I don't think many people see emus play the equilibrium to pop events or to use it as an event during my main phase.
Yep.
So
I'll pass with 1 Dawn open.
my opponent was just a little surprised at what was going on there. But this is certainly a different game from what we've seen in the past, me versus Zoro. I know people say that Emu is very favored into Zoro. I do think that the high roll is still pretty brutal. And thankfully, I just, outside of the Mihawk, am getting pretty low rolled at this point. There's no Toshigi, there's no Cavendish. My opponent hasn't used any cards to counter out of any of these swings. I guess the only swing they could have saved was the Mihawk. And I'm trying to keep a fairly healthy hand by not using the double Mars, even though there wasn't a great target for that anyway. I could just swing 5 to 1. And my opponent's trying to plan out some Dawn here. Let's see if we can figure out what they're going for. 9 lead. I actually was not expecting that. And at this point, I don't really need the Mars, so I can just go ahead and use my 1 Rad Beam plus a
Plus 1, go to 10.
1K. Restand event could come out. Another 9 is going to come in. I will be at 1 life. And then what could they possibly drop on 2 Dawn? Maybe just leave Dawn up for 2 TMG.
9's good, no trigger.
Finally get my Saturn, which is quite nice. So I'll be able to pitch that with my 5 Elders skill. What are we doing with 2 Dawn here? We're just going to search again with the Hiyori that they picked up from the Law. So that's really telling me that they don't have a better play. No Cavendish Koshiro. No nasty setups. So I just need to be able to leave some Dawn up for counter events that I find. And thinking what I have in my trash, I should have 1 Equilibrium and 1 Rad Beam. So I still have 2 Rad Beam in my deck and 1 Equilibrium.
Cavendish, all right.
They finally find the Cavendish here after spending all their Dawn. Maybe it was better to sequence it by swinging the Hiyori first.
Sure.
Find the Cavendish,
No,
play
you're
the
good.
Cavendish Koshiro.
Good one. Drop return here.
And just swinging for a smaller number.
I'm gonna.
That way you can save the... yeah,
Go to the
you
Hiyori
want to
first.
save the restand event here.
I'm gonna.
So unfortunate that it's
Ability,
gone.
pitch of 5 Elders.
I'm going to cycle 1 Elders just because I can. I hope I don't pitch...
Rest, 1 Dawn.
Okay, I just searched with it. I was going to say I need that Saturn, but Saturn will go to trash anyway. Let's pick up another event. Plus 3K. And now that I'm going into my 5 Elders turn with at least 1 life, I'm actually feeling really comfortable.
Yeah, we'll tap 3 Dawn. And stage.
And the reason why I trashed my other copy of 5 Elders is that I'm not really concerned, to be honest, about my opponent clearing my board here. I know they have maybe 5 or 6 in hand.
5 Dawn open. On play, Saturn's gonna search top 5.
So let's see if I can grab another Rad Beam off of here. No Rad Beam,
Just grab a.
but a blocker will do. That's my last War Curie, so I'm thinking if I want to take it, probably just use the Nistro because I'm so ahead on board right now. And then I have some Dawn to play with here. But since I just have 1 swing, I maybe just want to guarantee it with a 9K. I imagine they won't dump their hand for it,
For sure.
especially since it's the first life.
I'll pass.
Go ahead and pass with 3 Dawn open. I believe I have 2 Dawn, or 2 events rather. But I want some insurance for DMG.
When attacking, if I have 10 cards in trash, I
So if a DMG comes down, they could rest both of my blockers, or they could rest both of my Dawn. So I will want to leave some extra Dawn open, because there is that possibility of using that event.
blockers 3 Dawn up.
I don't know as a Zoro player what is actually more optimal in terms of what to rest. Any Zoro players watching, please let me know.
Yeah, you're good.
Trying to think here. I imagine you want to rest the Dawn because I would have to give you the blocks, and the blocks mean that you get to use your leader ability for free here. Is my read off of that right now. Sorry, I'm just giving it a lot of thought here. I know Zoro is often clowned on as a low thought, low skill deck, but there are some really interesting lines, and come on guys, it's One Piece. It's not like this Emu deck is much more hard to pilot, you know? Now looking here, I think with that Cavendish, it opens up a lot of options on 10 Dawn for my opponent. They could drop a Kuina. They could drop maybe a Perona Searcher. And then play the Law, which plays out the Tashigi, which rests my Warcury.
I'm gonna tap 4.
And then do you have Dawn for DMG afterward?
Okay.
The DMG comes out, that's 4. No, you would need all of it in hand. You wouldn't be able to play a Searcher, actually. Go ahead and rest both of my blockers. I still feel like maybe just resting the Warcury, if you were to rest the blocker, is probably better.
I'm swinging 3, 2.
Going 8 lead.
I don't know who's worse.
This is a blocker. You probably don't want to do this one because I'll draw a card. This one is a rusher that
Or
minus
is
2K to your board.
are you swinging
That
in a
matters.
board
And then
here?
this one
You're
is
probably
a
swinging in a
blocker.
board at this point just to get some free
It's up
value.
to you.
My opponent's just asking me which one is the one that will draw a card on KO.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the blocker here.
And I'll reset.
And now since 3 Dawn is attached, oh, not using the leader skill yet.
Okay. On KO, I'll draw a card.
Just trying to clear board, actually.
I'm gonna swing at life.
Swing life with leader ability.
I see, okay. So they didn't use the leader ability because it would prevent them from attacking characters that cost 7 or less.
I don't know, man.
So they use the leader ability, or they use the restand event, costs 3 to restand a Zoro,
7 leader.
Shit, 7 leader.
and then just clear my board. You maybe swing the Nistro. I guess you're worried about. What could you possibly be worried about here?
7 leader.
I guess it's free value. I don't know. I like the idea of using the restand event to swing twice to life to get cards out of my hand. But if you're worried about the number of counter that you have, maybe you need to reduce the number of attackers on board. And Zoro's just so good at that.
8 leader.
Going 8 lead, just asking for more 2Ks. I know I haven't seen a lot out of my opponent's hand, so it's kind of hard to make a hand read. I do just want to see 2Ks come out, though, because they're more likely to draw 1Ks. See an Apu, and I think that's the frog-looking guy. It's a 2K.
And then we'll rest the stage. And 3 Dawn.
And just drop another Elders here. Tap 1 Dawn.
Trash.
Probably pitch the Mars or the Saturn.
From hand to play everything out.
Saturn you can at least use to play out and pop a body. I'm not going to be using
So 2 blockers.
Saturn's. I'm not going to be tapping Dawn to play out Saturn here, especially with this little left in my deck.
I will grab a 2K.
Just get a 2K here, put the Garp event on top. I should be really thinking about how I'm stacking my deck. I think that'll be in the next search. So it's not great, but I also don't have another Elders.
Right, did I do that right? So it's 4 Dawn.
Is the last one in life, or is it bottom 3? I don't think it's bottom 3.
Go 8 lead.
Just swinging 8 again, leaving 3 up again for potential DMG plays. If the exact same thing happens, I still have the exact amount of counter that I gave last turn to give to my opponent again, which is again why I feel like resting more Dawn is useful, but maybe just in the case that I only leave 2 Dawn up.
I'll pass.
Honestly, I think it's game.
Yeah?
Now again, I don't think there's a line here that Zoro can take to secure a win. Could DMG the Warcury. DMGing costs 4, so you have 6 Dawn remaining. You need to swing 8 lead. And then restand 8 lead again.
Piranha.
Okay.
Search for
But I just have so much counter. So that Perona does come down. Maybe the Law might act as a blocker here, but it's just too late. Get another restand event going. Queena could possibly come down, but again, I just think you're out of Dawn here. I feel like that Queena on that turn was a misplay. I kind of thought that it was an on play because it came in rested, or it was already rested, so I just thought my opponent was using the activate main, but I forgot that the Law just brings it in rested instead. My opponent's setting aside 3 Dawn, is it? And just sending life.
11 to lead.
11 7.
But because I have so much on board,
And block.
I'm thinking here, I'm just going to go ahead and block draw another card. It's a 2K.
And I drew a card on KO.
Okay.
Yep.
And double Nistro will clean up here if anything were to happen. I just double block.
And play ability.
Yep. Restand.
Stand, swing again.
Restand event. And I could counter out here. Do I need to, though?
So 9. Plus 3.
I just show both counter events in this case.
Alright. Go ahead, just kill me already, dude. Fuck, what can I do?
How many cards do you have in hand?
Yeah, so unfortunately a bit of a slower start from the Zoro. I was so terrified by that Mihawk, but it looks like it will just
8 2K.
be a 17k swing to life. And what did they have in
Yes,
hand?
sir.
Are they going to show me?
What do I need?
You need.
I do think there were a couple misplays there. It is kind of weird when the Emu player is
Okay, man.
just using leader ability and getting rid of all of their characters and not really giving you anything to get value out of. I think you just play around that and force them to spend resources to get rid of your Tashigis or your Cavendishes. I know Mars is pretty strong in a Cavendish, but they did have that Koshiro. So I think there are a couple lines that could have been played a bit better. But when you are missing that Cavendish so late, it just doesn't feel great. So maybe not the best way to showcase how to play around Zoro, because I feel like in my other game that I have recorded, that one is most definitely, I tried my best. If not, I learned how to not search my elders down and have only bricks in hand. So that's one thing that I improved on a little bit. But I'll try to get another game where Zoro absolutely high rolls me. Low key, I hope that doesn't happen, but I hope that this commentary helped out. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take it easy.